Hi, I'm Aharon Rabinowitz, executive producer at Red Giant Films. In this episode of Red Giant TV, we're going to take you behind the scenes of our newest film, Old New. We'll show you how we put it together from start to finish, including writing, art design, shooting, editing, color correction, and visual effects. There's a lot that goes into making a film, even a short one. And our director, Seth Worley, is involved in every aspect of production. So I'll let Seth take it from here, and I'll see you in a little bit.
Hi, I'm Seth Worley, the director and co-writer of Old New, and this is a look at how we made it.
Our films are usually built around a product. So a great example of that is in Plot Device, where we have this character who's jumping from film genre to film genre. What we're really doing was we were showing off the different kinds of looks that Magic Bullet looks can create. And in Form 17, we have a situation where we've got a lot of dialogue between the father and daughter and a lot of cameras, and we built that whole project just so that we could show off the power of Pluralize, which syncs your audio and video in seconds. So this time there's a new product called Magic Bullet Film.
There's a lot of simulations of film stocks out there, and there's a lot of, I think, assumptions about the film look, and we didn't want to just take those assumptions for granted. We're not just trying to copy film or recreate it, we're trying to give modern filmmakers with digital equipment access to this wonderful, rich bag of tricks that cinematographers have been using for years.
So here we had this product that's sole purpose was to make your new footage look like an older medium. If you start thinking about it, you realize that most photographs that we take these days, we don't consider them presentable until we've made them look older and slightly crappier. And in kind of mining for our story, that felt like a really interesting place to start.
There's a slider that takes it from a vintage look to a more modern grade. And we kind of imagine what would a person be like if they were on one side of that spectrum and then something happened where they just swung the other way.
So suddenly, we felt like we had something relevant to say. So then the question is, how do we say it?
Seth and I both have little kids, and we're reading Dr. Seuss and fantasy stories to them, and this gave us a chance to bring some of that into what we're doing here.
Now, the way I see it, when you're telling a whimsical story like this one, in the vein of Pushing Daisies or, a Disney storybook, the creative gravity tends to pull you toward Wes Anderson, which I love, as I expressed in the Plot Device behind the scenes. I love Wes Anderson. I hate everyone who's trying to be Wes Anderson, and I was that person for a while. So the direction we ended up taking, we called Walt Disney's Goodfellas. The idea was that we would be moving the camera constantly, flying through these gags, not leaning on the irony of the jokes, but actually telling the story as cinematically as we possibly can.
This shoot was different for me because of how fast we were moving. There was just a million locations.
When I first got the script, there were so many locations, costumes, props, old things, new things.
Paul Conrad designed all the art you see in the film, including the IKEA-like labels and tags, the paint can, the old newspaper, and the cave drawings, which were originally supposed to be more of a Norman Rockwell exhibit. But Paul brilliantly pointed out that cave drawings were a much better representation of older than old.
Seth decided early on that my character was going to be wearing totally different clothes in every shot since he's obsessed with new things. So basically, every day we'd be shooting, I'd just show up on set and be like, all right, who's giving me their clothes?
We shot the majority of the film on a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, which we borrowed from my friend Dave Altizer.
My friendship with Seth Worley is mostly structured around short text messages of, hey Dave, can I use your camera? The size of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera is really great for use with a slider, and we were really lucky to have the KESSLER CineSlider.
I hate sliders. I think most footage shot on sliders looks like the camera is just moving back and forth 12 inches. But this KESSLER CineSlider, the thing gives you footage that looks like it's all shot on dollies. And we actually got to use the entire KESSLER CINEDRIVE motion control system to accomplish several of the visual effects shots. But not before first field testing it with my son. And to make sure all of our footage was transferred and backed up safely, we used Red Giant Offload there on the set to dump our cards.
One more. I think my favorite gag in the film is the chair breaking. we needed the chair to break. And we weren't sure how we were going to do that until we were searching through my grandmother's barn where we were shooting and conveniently discovered that my grandmother had saved all her pre-broken chairs in the history of time. So when I'm sitting upright in that scene, what you're actually seeing is me doing the most difficult squatting position. That chair is not holding my body weight at all, only my abs. So thank God for my abs, which is the real message of the film.
Now, at Red Giant, we're kind of spread out all over the place. My crew and I, we're in Nashville, where we shoot and edit all our films. Aharon serves as executive producer and co-writes the films with me from New York, and Harry spends hours upon hours doing backbreaking manual roto work at Red Giant's main offices in Portland. So Frame.io became our central hub for reviewing cuts and giving notes.
They have tools there for comparing cuts, drawing on frames, and adding comments, that kind of thing. Having a good system for that when you're all working remotely is pretty critical, and it helped us a ton. I may have abused the paintbrush tool.
The film also features extensive use of stock footage, and we wanted that stock footage to be good.
For that, we went to Dissolve.com, which is a library of footage that has a ton of beautiful cinematic stuff. Like in all Red Giant films, there's a lot of visual effects in Old New, like cloning,
This isn't fulfilling.
time travel, or elephants with laser eyes.
Because our shoot was so run and gun, bringing lots of limitations on set, the film ended up having a lot of invisible visual effects that you may not have realized. We did our color pass, using the new Magic Bullet Suite 12. All of Red Giant's filmmaking and visual effects tools work smoothly with Adobe Creative Cloud, so we edited in Premiere Pro and did our visual effects work in After Effects. Most of the color came from Magic Bullet Film, which I love because it's all about subtlety. It doesn't simulate film as some kind of gimmick. It really gives your footage the texture and feel and soul of film. As always, not every shot is equally balanced in terms of light and color, so to unify color from shot to shot, we'd add Colorista 3 into the mix. There were also times we needed a little more control over the film look and color correction chain, so we used the tools in Magic Bullet Looks. Looks has a new 4-way color corrector that is pretty powerful, and with the film tools also available there, we could do it all here in one go. Some of the shots we captured in low light, which means we get noise, and color correction can really intensify that noise, so we used Denoiser 2 to clean that up. And since Ben is a deeply flawed human being, we used Magic Bullet Cosmo to clear up a few skin blemishes here and there.
What's interesting to me about this Red Giant film was that I got to see it constantly changing. Seth would just call me random times of the night and be like, hey, we should be making fun of old shaving. And I'd be like, Seth, we finished shooting like 2 months ago. And Seth would be like, okay, well, I'm outside.
Working on projects for Red Giant and working with Seth, he brings an entourage of people with him that really want to be there.
I'm obviously proud of all the films we've made at Red Giant, but Old New is special to me because I'm really proud of the fact that we were able to tie the film to the product thematically and not just visually. With that said, it does look pretty good.
Thanks for watching Behind the Scenes of Old New. 3.5 years ago, we set out to do something new. Instead of just selling software tools for filmmakers, we decided that we wanted to make films. Now, we did that for a lot of reasons, primarily because we're a company full of filmmakers and visual effects artists who love film. But one of the side effects of making films is that it's helped us make better tools for filmmakers. Over the last few years, we've learned a ton, and based on what we've learned, we've released a bunch of essential software like Pluralize and Offload, and now the all-new Magic Bullet Suite 12, which you heard a lot about in this video. But as always, it's not about the software, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The tools are just here to help you in your work, and we're proud to be a small part of that process for filmmakers and visual effects artists around the world. This is our 7th film at Red Giant, and we had a blast making it. We hope that our work continues to inspire you to pick up a camera, shoot something, and tell your story. Once again, I'm Rabinowitz for Red Giant. I'll see you soon.